Hello from Teacher Melissa, and today I want to talk to you about those dreaded unit assessment projects, those UA projects. And I've put off this video for a long time because there's so many components I need to talk about. But today I'm digging in. So this will be a little bit longer, so bear with me. I think this can really help you. First of all, I want to just vent just a little bit. Folks, we should be explaining these UA projects. So when someone comes on your Facebook group and says, oh no, I didn't get to explain the UA project, what's going to happen? I love it when people help out that newbie and lift them up and say, it's okay, don't worry about it. They'll see it again in lesson 5, lesson 6, and lesson 11. That is all true. Love when people do that. What I don't like is when people say, those projects don't mean anything anyway, so don't worry about it. Oh, don't worry. These kids have so much homework. Nobody cares about those UAs. Nope, kids don't show up with them anyway, so why bother? And that bothers me a little bit. Doing these UAs, yes, is extra homework for these kids. However, it is an important part of acquiring a new language. Most of what we do in VIP Kid is have them repeat after us. They're working in very basic sentence frames, and everything is right there on the screen in front of them. That's a great part of learning how to speak. But doing a project is the next step. It's the next level. It will help them push that language deeper into their long-term memory because they have to be creative. They have to come up with something on their own. They are physically drawing pictures. They are taking their thoughts in Chinese, translating them into English, and then producing something on the page with drawing and writing in English. It's a crucial step that VIP Kid recognizes in language acquisition when you are learning a second language. So please, let's not skip over these lightly. Let's not let our regular students get by with doing them. Let's continue to encourage newbies when they run out of time, but let's encourage them. It's okay. It's okay. They'll see it again, and next time do this, so that we are encouraging them to present the UA project and not skip it because nobody cares, because we should care. Okay, so here are my tips for helping your students understand the UA project and my tips for getting them to actually do it. Here's the number one thing. Call it homework. Don't call it a project. Don't call it an option. Those words are on the screen. You can say those. But when I get a student and I'm at that first UA screen, I'm saying, okay, time for homework. Trust me, these kids in nearly every level have a clear understanding of the word homework. So when they're choosing, I am going to call it homework. So when I get to this first screen, like you see here, I'm just going to show you one basic one. They're very similar in each level. There's going to be my final project menu. I say time to choose your homework. And then, as you can see on the screen, I am just going to circle some key words and just say that. So I'll say, number 1, do you want to write a recipe? And then I'm going to show some TPR. Do you want to write a recipe? Or do you want to draw food? Or do you want to make an exercise plan? So I'm trying to do a little bit of TPR with each one. And usually I'm circling those keywords. Do you want to write? Do you want to draw? Do you want to create a plan? A lot of the project have those things. It'll say make a list. It'll say draw. It will say write. It will say make a model. So often those little key words will really pique a student's interest. They like to draw, they like to write, something like that. So I'll circle those and I'll say, and I'll do that. And then I give them a choice right there. I'm not reading everything on that screen yet. They're going to choose to draw or write or make a chart, something like that, like this. I'm going to say, which homework do you choose? 1 or 2? Oops, 2. Or 3. Which one? Now notice I've got 3 separate colors, or I have 3 cards, or 3 different. I do not go, 1, 2, or 3. That sounds like I'm counting. I want them to make a choice. So I'm going to write it on 3 separate cards, or it's going to be 3 playing cards, or 3 Uno cards, or something physical that they're obviously choosing one. And I am telling them to choose a number right now. Choose one. Now, if I'm on lesson 5 and that's all I have time for, and I can get them to say the number 2, great, number 2. I'm getting rid of these. Number 2. Your homework is number 2. Then I'm circling number 2 real big. If that's all I have time for, at least I've gotten them to choose a number. Said the word homework. Your homework is number 2. If I'm out of time, that's good enough. I'm writing it in feedback. But if I have time, now what I'm doing is I'm flipping to this example slide for number 2. Now, in this case, I'm just showing an example slide for a different UA. So in this one, it's just showing an example. So I'm going to explain the example. I'm not explaining number 1 and reading it and showing the example slide. I'm not reading all of project option 2 and showing the example. I'm trying to get them to choose from that very first slide. Now, sometimes students can't choose. They don't understand. If that's the case, then I will quickly flip through and I will say, look, number 1, do you want to write? Slide. Or number 2, do you want to draw? Swipe. Or number 3, do you want to make a chart? And then I'm flipping back to 1, 2, 3. You choose 1, 2, or 3. This is key. Get them to choose a number quickly. Then, with whatever time you have, you can explain, and I'll go back. Okay, number 2, you must write sentences. 5 sentences, okay? Then I also have this chart. I got this on VIP Kid videos and props. It's there for you to print, put on your big girl panties. Don't ask me to post it. Go to that Facebook group, make one of your own, whatever. Oh, this is amazing. I will say, today is lesson 5. You show me homework in lesson 12. Or if we're on 6 and I'm describing it, or if we're on 11 and no one's described it to them yet, I'll say, today is 11. Next class is 12. You show me homework on lesson 12. You show me your homework on lesson 12. Whatever level student you have, you're explaining that. That can be a big eye-opener for students. So those things have been very helpful to me. Most of my regulars do a project. Now, the younger levels, it might be a little bit harder to explain, but keep it very simple. Do you want 1, 2, or 3 will really help those littles just choose a number. Now, they've chosen, great. When I get to lesson 6, I'll say, did you choose? Maybe I've never seen this student before. This is also a great thing in the, if you've got a student, you've got 10 extra minutes at the end of class, what do? You're on lesson 7. Well, ask them what they're doing for their project. You might not even know what the projects are, but it's risky. But you can say, did you choose homework? So that's something you might want to try. Now, after I do that, I am always typing it in feedback in 3 places. First of all, in the parent feedback. Jimmy has chosen project number 2 for homework. Jimmy will show me his homework in lesson 12. Jimmy will draw foods and label them. Again, to the parent, I need to assume they speak very little English and I want it to translate well. So I'm keeping it short and simple. So I will say, please watch the class video to see the homework. The homework is in Jimmy's VIP Kid book. So I'm telling the parent very basically what it is. I'm also putting it in teacher-to-teacher feedback. Jimmy chose project number 2 for his homework. He will be drawing food and labeling it. Quick, simple like that, so that the next teacher can say, Jimmy, you are going to draw food? So they're not starting from scratch. They can see that if they're in lesson 6 or lesson 11, they can either be reminding Jimmy, they don't have to go through the whole process. If I've already written it down, then I've explained it in a previous lesson. So that's very helpful to other teachers. And then I am also telling the learning partner at the very bottom of that feedback. Jimmy has chosen option number 3. He will be drawing food. Jimmy seems to understand to show me in lesson 12. Or Jimmy does not understand that this is homework for lesson 12. Please explain to Jimmy that he must show me the homework. So whatever I've gauged the student's understanding of the homework, whether they should do it or not, or if they don't get it, I will explain that to the learning partner so that they can help them out. Okay, I hope this has helped you a little bit in how to make explaining that UA project go a little faster instead of explaining it all, and shown you the importance of the UA projects in these students' learning cycle of learning English as a second language. So don't forget, give us a thumbs up if you think this video helped you. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post new content weekly. And if this has helped you, please feel free to share it on whatever Facebook group or in other Facebook groups. You are more than welcome to share. And if you've got some ideas that will help us also, you can post those below, or feel free to post your comments on whatever Facebook group you're viewing this video on. Have a great day, and I'm hoping to hear back some success stories. Thanks.